Terms apply.
We are live at Anfield on Saturday, all from 11 o'clock, the build-up with game day exclusive ahead of Liverpool versus Burnley. Live commentary here on talkSPORT in the Premier League. And we're going to look ahead to that game, but also talk about Liverpool's chances in the title race now that we've got Emile Heskey, the former Liverpool striker, here with us. Darren last week, Emile, said his title winners are Liverpool. He says they're back. What do you think?
Look, For me, it's Man City again. Even though after the Spurs game, I still think that you know what you're going to get with them. They're arguably slow starters, but once they get going, it's hard to stop them. I think for Liverpool, I think it's just getting the momentum up, and I think they'll be there or thereabouts. I still have them and Chelsea in that three horse race. Really, for me, that's my views on it.
Who are your top four?
And Leicester.
So who's not in the top four then for you if Leicester finish in the top four?
Well, Arsenal, ain't it?
Oh, Arsenal, yeah.
Yeah. Look, United. I think United will be there or thereabouts. So, look, again, Leicester, they'll want to break into that then, and I hope they do. But you're probably saying United will be in there.
So
It'll be
City for you,
United, Chelsea, Liverpool.
Okay.
Happy with that, Darren?
Nah. Oh, listen, I'm not unhappy. Listen, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I just think for me, the best defence tends to win the league. Mm-hmm. And Liverpool are very strong again. Matip back after 7 months. Gomez back after 7 months. Konate on the bench for last weekend's game. Van Dijk starting the game alongside Matip. Tsimikas starting the game with Robertson coming back. Trent Alexander-Arnold fit again as well. They have got the platform to allow the offensive players to go and do what they do best. I cannot see how people can... In English football, just very quickly, in English football, what we tend to do, we go with recency bias. You know, the most recent team to do great things is the team that everyone goes with. And people write off Liverpool so quickly.
I'm not writing off Liverpool. I just think that...
no, I'm not just saying you. I'm just saying in general, people write Liverpool off. It's as if
like you're saying,
the title would never happened.
With Van Dijk coming back in, that's a huge bonus. Huge bonus. Again, we've seen what he's capable of, and we've seen defensively what he's able to do and galvanise a whole defence, and organise a whole defence. But I still think City are that little bit further ahead in my eyes.
Joel Matip played pretty well. Would he start, though, at one of the other clubs that we're talking about in terms of the top four?
Would Joel Matip start at one of the other clubs? I think it's immaterial. I just think that he's a good player who suits what Liverpool do. And I think in terms of his quality, Van Dijk is one of those defenders who improves players around him. That's his great strength. I think Alexander-Arnold is a better right back with Van Dijk next to him because he's a good organiser, he's a leader. He's he's a kind of player who has a transformative effect, not just on the players alongside him, but on the team as well. To me, he's a lot like a Ledley King who can improve players alongside him. You would have played with loads of players like that.
But that's what leaders do. Leaders are not just about themselves. It's about giving the responsibility to others around you to actually be better than what they usually would give you, and to give them that. How can I say that they come out with their chest held high because they're next to that leader. Yeah,
I mean, I remember Gary Neville saying that when he played alongside Rio Ferdinand, he said, as a right back, nothing is coming down your side. Mm-hmm. And Ferdinand and Vidic in the middle, they talk to each other throughout the game. They help their left back, they help their right back, and they're organised. And that's the sort of thing I get when I see Van Dijk, when I see Thiago Silva at Chelsea. Yeah. Leaders who tell the players around them, nothing's going to get past us. We are going to stay organised. We're going to communicate. I think that's the reason why I'm so confident about Liverpool again.
I mean, I'm just writing down some of the defenders at the other clubs, and I just think your shout on Liverpool having the best defence is a bit of a stretch. I mean, if I look at Manchester City, the champions, and I write down possible starting back four of Cancelo, Diaz, Stones and Walker, Manchester United, Shaw, Maguire, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, Chelsea, probably a five. You got Chilwell, Thiago Silva, Christensen, Rudiger, Azpilicueta, Reece James, Alonso. I mean, there are plenty of players and their defensive record is virtually immaculate under Thomas Tuchel as well. Why have Liverpool got the best defence?
Do you know, to be honest with you, this is one of those rare occasions where I can't necessarily disagree with you. I respect all of the teams in the top four, and that's what's going to make this title race so compelling this season, because all of the teams, I look at United, and Varane has the potential to have that transformative effect I've been talking about.
I think that's why they bought him. I think that's why they've gone for him, because, again, they're looking at every other team who has that leader in the middle, and it's generally down the spine, isn't it? When you look at real big teams and the teams that are going to go on and win things, goalkeeper, centre-back, central midfielder and a forward, who are heart of everything, who are them leaders within that spine. And this is probably why they've gone for Varane.
Just quickly, I want to talk about Mo Salah. He's 2 goals away from joining you in the Premier League's 100 club. He has 98 goals and 36 assists in 159 Premier League matches. It's an incredible record.
Yeah,
does he get the respect that he deserves?
I think from footballing people, yes. They love to see these stats, and they love to see Mo Salah, and they see what he actually brings. You know, when you go and score, I think it was 40 plus goals in your first season, and then they tell you you've had a bad season, but you've still scored over 20 goals and with 10 assists. Then you're like, well, what are you actually looking for? So he's a fantastic player, and I think whoever's saying that he's overrated, or they're not rating him as highly as he should be, I don't know what they're looking at or anything. I know you spoke about possibly you're not assured when he's actually going one-on-one, but I am. I'm more than assured when he's going on one-on-one that he's going to score.
I think in this country, we sometimes can't see the quality under our noses, and we take it for granted. It's the reason why, and we argued about this before the show, and we probably will a bit later, but you look at Harry Kane, 3 Premier League Golden Boots, World Cup Golden Boot, often running at the highest level in the European Championships, and it comes around to his valuation. People say, is he really worth £150 million? Of course the guy is. You look at somebody like Raheem Sterling at the start of the European Championships. You and I argued about this, Hugh, because you're among many people who felt that Jack Grealish should have started for England ahead of Sterling. And people said he'd had a bad season last time around. He scored 17 goals for a winger. That's a fantastic return. And it underlines what Emile's been saying. Sometimes when you have a free scoring season, when you set a high bar and then you dip a little bit below that, that's still a brilliant return for someone in your position, but people think you've underachieved. And I think maybe that's the way that some people see Salah, because he's still an elite player.
Season after season that he keeps doing it as well, and people are still questioning him, and I don't understand why.
Speaking of questioning players, I'm looking forward to discussing Lionel Messi with you a little bit later on, Darren. I just wanted to talk to you about, finally on Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp's spending comments. I just didn't think they struck the right tone. This is what he said: "We cannot compare to other clubs because obviously they have no limits. We have limits, but we have been successful in this way in the last few years. Let's see which is the right way. We can't spend money we don't have. Maybe others can." Is he right to start pointing the finger at this early stage?
Well, he wasn't really. I don't necessarily think it was a scattergun attack. That you have to look at what he said in the context of the question he was asked. People were saying, are you going to bring in more players? And he was just talking about what Liverpool are going to do. And what he said was, we can't spend like other clubs do. But he wasn't off his own back.
What he said was, we can't spend money we don't have.
Yeah.
Maybe others can.
Fine.
So he's not just saying we can't spend as much money as other people. He's saying they're spending money they don't even have.
Well, maybe that's the case. He doesn't know. But what I'm saying is, I don't read it as a scattergun attack. I read it as a defence of what Liverpool are trying to do. And I think what Liverpool are trying to do is say, look, let's look at the talent that we've got. I mean, Emile, you're far better positioned to talk about this than I am. But I think
did he need to call out the other clubs?
I don't think he did.
No, I think it's the way we read it. I think you're reading it in the wrong way than I'm reading it. He's just saying, well, the way we can't do it like others. We have to do it this way. and that's it. But now you're saying, well, who are you talking about? Other? He didn't specifically say anything about about the teams. He's just saying we can't.
Listen,
do
if he said we can't spend as much money as the others, no problem. He said we can't spend money we don't have. Maybe others can. So he's implying there that other clubs are spending money that they don't even have.
You're implying.
No, that's the implication. I'm reading between the lines.
No, you read this and you read it the way that you want to read it.
I have no Liverpool allegiance, Emile. I don't know.
You read it the way that you want to read it. I read it like that. The way that
let us know what you think about Klopp's comments as well. 81089. You can tweet at talkSPORT KO.